Sometimes there are important key moments in history where the future balances on knife's edge. Just a small decision here can change your fate and create big stirs. A situation where a single moment of inattention can decide about life and death, victory and defeat, or about the destiny of the whole galaxy. Many times in Star Wars we witness these turning points of history, and also that often it is a close call who will win and how the story will continue. Since Marvel showed us the many other possible outcomes of such a situation for their own universe, Star Wars fans were speculating about the options for the galaxy far, far away too. So let's dive in. What scenarios do Star Wars fans want the most and why? Number 1. What if Qui Gon actually survived? Do you know why the most famous duel theme in Star Wars is called Duel of the Fates? It's actually way more important than you think. But hold on. In episode 1, we witness Qui Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight against Darth Maul, who should stop the Jedi from regaining control over the planet of Naboo and force the Queen to surrender. But the real important thing about this duel is that it doesn't primarily decide the fate of Naboo, but Anakin's future. And furthermore, the future of the galaxy. The Duel of the Fates actually decides if dogmatic Obi-Wan will train Anakin and he will join the dark side, or if more understanding Qui Gon Jinn will train Anakin with his more advanced knowledge and skills. So what if Qui Gon survived and defeated Maul together with Obi-Wan? This episode could explore a potential universe in which Anakin is trained by a more experienced Jedi, one who would be more like a father to him rather than the volatile brotherly relationship he had with Obi-Wan, and perhaps this time, when Anakin is tempted by Palpatine, he'd have the experience and dedication necessary to refuse the offer. He could also seek advice at Qui-Gon and maybe also open up a little bit more about his relationship with Padme, since Qui-Gon seems to see the Jedi rules a little more expendable than the more dutiful Obi-Wan. Speaking of who could in this scenario also be assigned to train Ahsoka. So this episode will be about that one man's survival that could change the destiny of the galaxy. What if Jar Jar was actually a Sith? Jar Jar Binks had a, let's say, complicated history with Star Wars fans. Originally intended to be the kids' favorite for fans of the new series, Jar Jar ended up being widely despised by the community as a bad comic relief. Yet theories about the true plans for Binks' character have circulated the internet for years, including one very popular suggestion that he actually was a Sith Lord all along. What started out as a fan theory in the last years has now already reached meme status and has therefore become a mandatory scenario in Star Wars What If show. In this episode, Darth Jar Jar would open many new story possibilities and could add depth to the character. Perhaps he created Palpatine only as a disguise to use him like a puppeteer. Originally, he was even planned as the main villain by George Lucas, but then he was hated so much by the audience that they decided to change the script. So with the reveal of his dark plans and strength, fans could finally see Jar Jar as a serious character and witness the true potential of his powers. And maybe his hidden plans are actually way bigger than we could have had imagined. What if the Brainworms actually spread? Brought up in the Invasion of Geonosis arc, in the second season of the Clone Wars, we find out about an ancient Geonosian hive mind which can control living beings, even after their death. Spread via tasty-looking brainworms, the hive mind was even able to infect the clone crew on a Republic supply ship and almost compromise the whole mission by also infecting the Jedi Padawan. With the help of Anakin's advanced business negotiation skills, Ahsoka was finally able to find the weak spot of the parasite and disable them. Despite the many very close situations on the Republic ship which could have also gone worse for Ahsoka, what would have happened if the brainworms would have spread throughout the Republic medical station and the galaxy afterwards? Marvel's What If show already has given us such a scenario, which also didn't fear killing off their main characters like it was Game of Thrones. probably will a comparable threat in the Star Wars universe also require fast and lethal decisions in order to survive? What if Darth Vader survived Death Star 2? Anakin Skywalker is the classic story of the fallen hero who fails in his high ambitions and unstable mental health. But the Chosen One still fulfills his prophecy and brings balance to the Force when he turns on his Dark Master and therefore saves his son. What would have happened if he would have gotten less injured by the Force lightning of the Emperor and made his way off the Death Star together with Luke? Despite the Skywalker family being almost united again, had he survived, things would have become very ugly for all sides. Darth Vader's one act of redemption did not absolve him of the war crimes he had committed. He would have been trialed for killing countless lives as an Imperial warlord, and he himself would have to deal with the fact that he was responsible for Padme's death, caused by his greed for power. Had Luke or Leia kept him as a mentor within the rebellion would have been fractured on ideological differences. But on the other hand, one of the major reasons for Kylo Ren to join the First Order and fall to the dark side was that he wanted to continue what Vader started. I mean, whatever that was. But with Vader being good now, he would have probably helped Kylo with his mental instability and insecurities, which he had already experienced on his own. What if Rey actually took Kylo's hand? It was that one moment that really spiced up the sequel trilogy when Kylo Ren ultimately turns on his master and teams up with Rey to fight the Praetorian Guards. After the duo emerges victorious, Kylo Ren reaches out his hand and offers Rey to join him. Kylo wants to leave the past behind and start something new, and for a second it seems like Rey would take his hand, and the audience already thought about all the new possibilities this obviously chosen duo could achieve in this galaxy. But in the movie, she remembers her dying friends and decides to stay with the Resistance, leading to Kylo becoming the supreme leader of the First Order and continuing their quest for power. But there actually was concept art for The Rise of Skywalker where Rey seems to have teamed up with Kylo. This scenario could explore how Rey and Kylo built up their own new order free from the teachings of the Sith or the Jedi. What if Ahsoka never left the Jedi Order? After a difficult start, Ahsoka Tano's journey on the Clone Wars ends with her departure from the Jedi Order. While the final season of the show eventually brought her back for its last 8 episodes, she was never a member of the Order again. But what if she hadn't left in the first place, choosing to remain Anakin's Padawan? This episode would have the unique ability to showcase Anakin's fall from a different point of view. Ahsoka's exit from the Order was one of the many points where the Clone Wars show wanted to show us the problems Anakin had with the Jedi Order and make his fall to the dark side more understandable. Even as she returned in Clone Wars Season 7, Anakin's point of view was already negative towards the Order and did not change anymore. Maybe if she never left, she could have helped Anakin with his fears and help him overcome his problems. Maybe comparable to the what if scenario where Qui Gon survived. What if the Mandalorian didn't rescue Baby Yoda? When Mando decided to violate the code of the Bounty Guild and recapture Grogu from the Imperial remnants, he founded the base for Disney to fill the time between The Rise of Skywalker and the upcoming Kenobi show with content. 4 shows of content and cameos. So what would have, story technically, happened if he would have sticked to the code and didn't return for Baby Yoda? At first you think, yeah, well, not much, we would have not seen a second season and Bo-Katan in it. But there is a plausible theory, and that brings me to my video on how Palpatine returned, that Palpatine survived by cloning himself and that he needed the highly Force-sensitive blood of Baby Yoda to build him up strong again. Because his clones were weak and not suitable for Force users, and that's why he still needs a machine to keep him alive in The Rise of Skywalker. Little promo here if you want to spoil your friends on how Palpatine survived before they reveal it officially in a new show, check out my video for this. And for all the others, imagine what would have happened to the galaxy if Palpatine boosted up with Baby Yoda's blood and reconquered the galaxy again with his last order, much earlier than the sequel era and much stronger.